Another game from Rockstar Games that is one of my favorite franchises, guys, is Max Payne. Absolutely love this franchise, and I've talked about it many times here on the YouTube channel. You can see all the Max Payne 4 content that we've talked about in the past, and just Max Payne in general. This is one of the first franchises I ever played on the original Xbox, guys. The very first Max Payne, and then of course, the second Max Payne game that came out, which weren't by Rockstar Games. Rockstar came into the fray in Max Payne 3 and was very successful. And so now we've been wondering, are they going to make a Max Payne 4? There's been a lot of rumor, there's been a lot of different, people, talking about Max Payne 4, or really whatever the next games are going to be by Rockstar Games. And I want to talk about everything that we want in Max Payne 4. And this is going based on some of the things that you guys have said and expressed out there that you guys want in a Max Payne 4. And then I'll give you guys some of my opinions as well. And if you don't agree with them, which I'm sure some of the things you're not going to, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. So number one, guys, Max Payne 4, I look at this franchise and you think, okay, the title is Max Payne. So what is a Max Payne game without Max Payne himself? Well, the interesting part of this, guys, is there's a lot of different ways that they could incorporate in the Max Payne franchise, and Max Payne 4 in particular, kind of having a character that, being Max Payne, as he's getting older, we find out new things about Max Payne, whether, whatever it might be. There could be a million different things about Max Payne that we actually don't know at this point, because I believe there's still so much in the story as a whole that we may very well just not know about Max Payne at this point. So at the end of the day, what could Max Payne 4 be? Well, it could be a prequel, guys, to the first Max Payne game out there. It could go all the way back to when he was younger and we start seeing and getting to know Max even more and more. And then at the end of Max Payne 4, it's almost like he passes the torch on to another character. Similar to what happened in the Gears of War franchise. You had 3 games, of course, with Marcus Phoenix as the main character, and then you get to Gears 4, and it's like Marcus passes the torch on to his son, JD, and then JD, of course, passed the torch on to Kate Diaz in Gears 5, and there you go. Who knows where the story's going to go from here, but Marcus is still in the story at this point, because you really would look at Gears of War and you think, oh yeah, Marcus Phoenix. That's like the first thing that comes to your mind at that point. But they did it in a way that it was okay to pass the torch. It was like you accepted it. And so I think in Max Payne, they could do the exact same kind of thing where you can pass the torch on to, whether it's a family member of Max Payne's, whether it's, somebody totally different, someone who actually he works with in Max Payne 4. Who knows? I think that Rockstar could absolutely do something pretty special here. I mean, if you think about it, Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't feature John Marston. It's featuring new characters. And so it's almost like, with one character that you absolutely grow to love, a lot of times that torch can be passed from one character to another throughout the course of these franchises to help continue them moving forward. And so Max Payne 4, I think, absolutely, we could see at the end of the story, he passes the torch on to someone else. And I'd be totally cool with that, because then we could see a continuation in one way, shape, or form into like Max Payne 5. Then, guys, I would say one of the big things for me with Max Payne 3 that I didn't like compared to like the very original Max Payne game was that it was more bright. I mean, the colors were great, the graphics were great, but I like that dark, gritty feel. Everything that happens in one night of Max Payne's life, all this, has all these problems, with his family getting killed, and then he's going out for revenge and such in the first game. It was just very much so the snow and the, just the gritty, color palette, the different buildings that you would go into, just very much so a kind of reminds me of like Death Sentence, the movie Death Sentence, and I like that feel for Max Payne. It kind of got a little bit brighter in Max Payne 4, or Max Payne 3, and that was okay. I still loved the game, don't get me wrong, but I'd like to go back to kind of a gritty, dark story to kind of round out and kind of bring everything full circle, so to speak, in this franchise. Then, guys, I would love to see a Max Payne Online. I mean, look at Rockstar Games and what they've done with GTA Online and Red Dead Online. I would love to see a Max Payne Online, guys, where they've had multiplayer in Max Payne 3, but I think that this would take it to the next level. Having Max Payne Online, I think it's primed for it, guys. I think it could be something really special. more ways than one to connect with the franchise is incredibly important. Having multiplayer in Max Payne 4 would be absolutely that. Having ways and earnable items, guys. Having different things that you can do within the Max Payne world, connecting with, you know, whether it's different characters or just connecting in general. I think it's just really important that Max Payne Online is the next big online mode, I should say, that Rockstar does. Next, guys, I would say co-op modes. I think it's important, guys, if you're starting to introduce new characters in the single-player story, I think it's important that you also have, you know, those playable characters, whether we're talking multiplayer or we're talking in co-op modes. Having co-op modes in Max Payne 4, I think would be great. It's just more ways you can connect with the story, having like co-op missions. Whatever the case might be, I think that could be something really special moving into Max Payne 4. So all in all, guys, at this point, the things that I think that we want are obviously a continuation or just a very early, you know, prequel from the original Max Payne. And then on top of that, guys, having more multiplayer modes, but having like an online would be absolutely awesome for, you know, a Max Payne Online similar to Red Dead Online and GTA Online. But of course, it's all Max Payne. And then, of course, having co-op modes, I think, is really important. Having other ways, guys, that you can connect with the franchise, I think, is really important. And rounding it all out, I would say, guys, having even a semi to full open world story for Max Payne would be really interesting. I mean, you look at GTA, you look at Red Dead, and just how popular those games are being, you know, open world settings. And I think Max Payne, we've never had that before. Having an open world setting or even just a semi-open world setting could be something incredibly special for this franchise. Just more ways and making the world feel more real. So those are what I think, guys, and things that I would want to see in Max Payne 4. What would you want to see in Max Payne 4? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Max Payne 4 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.